Okay, morning first years, welcome back to online school. Hope you're all keeping well after the Easter holidays. So we're going to move on now. I look at your submissions there that you did before Easter and over Easter, and I was pretty happy with them, right? So we're going to move on now to draw a shape called the ellipse. Now we looked at this when we did sketching, didn't we? And for the sketching one we kind of had a cross like this, and we just drew a curve around it like that. And we call that an ellipse. It's like an oval shape, okay? Now, as you can see from my curve, this one is not exactly like that one, okay? So when we're not sketching, we're given information. We need to be able to draw the ellipse accurately, right? Which means we need to find. So we have, with the crosses, we have these points, don't we? If I exaggerate them, or we join the points. So what we're going to do now, I'm going to show you a method to get more points. We're going to get 2 more points here, 2 more points here. So we're going to have a load of dots, and we're going to draw the dots together, which makes our ellipse more consistent. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to listen to me on this video, and you're going to copy what I do. So you're just basically going to copy my video this week, so you can draw an ellipse. Right. Once you can do that, we can move on next week. Right. So these are the important things. Right. Let's go back to my sketch. This is called the major axes. This is called the minor axes. Okay. When we're given a question for your exercises that you're going to do, you're going to get given a length for these. Okay. So I'm going to draw any major axes here now, and I'm going to draw it as 9 centimeters. I'm going to do this heavy. Everything you'll see at the end. Everything we do is going to be light. Okay. I'm doing it heavy so you can see it on the camera. So that's my major axes, and the first thing I'm going to do is bisect that. So I've got a line for my minor axes, which is always perpendicular to the major axes. Okay, and I'm going to give myself minor axes of what will I give? Maybe 5 centimeters. Okay, so I'm going to line up 2.5 here through the 2 crossovers. There's 5 centimeters, right? So I've got the major axes, minor axes. As I said, this is normally given to you, or one of them is given to you, and you just draw the other one in through the length of the other one, right? So what we're going to do next, this is a methodology, okay? So we'll write down the steps here. 1, draw major plus minor axes. Okay. 2, draw major and minor circles. So if you're watching this in the video, just pause it every now and again and follow me. So to draw the minor and major circle, we're going to use the length of half the axes as the radius, and we're going to draw a circle in like this, okay? There. Something's gone wrong there, is it? I'm just missing the edge. Anyway, we'll go with it. I know what went wrong there. I didn't get that exactly right. I'm going to go with it for this, right? So you draw the major circle, and for the minor circle we go to the top of the minor axes and we draw the circle. Okay. What went wrong there, just let you know, right? Because I do these deliberate mistakes, as you know, first years. I missed, that should be right on the edge of the line, shouldn't it? If I'm looking at my bisection here, I didn't go exactly to the center, so this should be shifted slightly across, because it should be coming down here, which would sort that out. However, I'm going to leave it like that, so for this purpose, because I just want to show you the method of which to follow it, right? So we've drawn the major circle, draw the minor circle. Then we're going to split circle into 30-degree sections, like slices of pizza, basically. Okay. Now, you don't need an A3 page for this. You don't need your book for this. There's no excuse not to do this work, right? I know some of you can't get the online access to the book. Let me just see if I can sort this out for myself. Now, make it easier. I've only got the small set squares. So I'm just lining these up with the axes to make sure I get right through the centre of the circle, okay? So I'm sliding it down. If you've got your T-square at home, this will be much quicker for you, of course, because you can just flip the set square over. I've done that one. So I'm just going to do this one. Okay, so we've ended up with a big and a small circle split into sections, right? Step 4 then. Step 4, we draw lines. Now this is going to seem like really a lot of work for you for the first one, but once we're going to do so many of these now, you'll be able to do these off the top of your head, right? So this is the first one. You've got to just stick with me, rewind the video, etc. Draw lines parallel to major axes from where the diagonals, lines we've just drawn, cut minor circle. So draw lines parallel to, that's the major axes, parallel to the major axes from where the diagonal lines cut minor circle. This is a minor circle. So for example, this is a diagonal line, that cuts the minor circle there, doesn't it? So I'm going to draw a line parallel. So I'm going to line this up. Okay. I'm going to draw a line. What you'll find is this one cuts the same place as that one. So we can draw a line across, okay, here, just so it's, you see this, what we're going to do next is draw a line down to make a triangle. So just so it's enough to create a triangle there, I'm going to draw a line out towards the major circle from there, and then we're going to do the same again. These diagonals cut the minor circle at this point. Okay, so I'm drawing it, we're going to draw a line down to make a triangle, like down to make a triangle there. So that's how we gauge the length of these lines. These diagonals cut minor circle at that point. Okay, that's all we do. We know from the sketching that this is a point on the ellipse. I'm going to exaggerate this, you don't do them this big, okay? We know this is a point on the ellipse, we know this is a point on the ellipse, and we know that this is a point on the ellipse, okay? Where does that go? Right. So next step, number 5, as I said, just to, oh, it's gone off. vertical lines parallel to minor axes from where diagonals cut major circle. I'm going to put in brackets there, creating right angled triangles. Okay, let's go through that again. Draw vertical lines parallel to the minor axis. This is the minor axis. We're going to draw vertical lines from where the diagonals cut the major axis. The diagonal cuts the major axis here, doesn't it? So let's go to create right angled triangles. So we're going to create right angled triangles here like this. You'll see again this cuts same place as that one, so we can just do two at one. That creates, so making sure they meet the horizontal lines we've just drawn. So the diagonal cuts the major axis here, down, vertical line, cuts the major axis here, vertical line. Okay, so you end up with something like that. Right, once we've done that, we've done all our workings. So just to be clear again, everything I've done there should be in your 4H or light 2H pencil. That's not part of the drawing. All this is just to get the points for the ellipse. Okay. So number 6 is freehand. Again, you need to practice freehand. Practice your freehand. Ellipse through right angled corners of triangles. So here we go. This is where you've got to be back to a bit of sketching, right? So I'm going to emphasize that's the right angle here, isn't it? That's a right angle here. We know it goes to the bottom of the minor axis. That's a right angle. That's a right angle. We know it goes through the edge of the major axes. So I've emphasized the points. I don't really want you to do this because the dots aren't really part. Can you see the dots will form an ellipse? And it gives us a bit more accuracy. So don't do this, okay? Back and forth like that, okay? Try and do one sweep of a line, lightly if you have to. Okay, the error here is just doing something like that. Right, so I'm going to do one sweep of a line, nice and rounded at the corner. I'm moving round my seat to make sure I get it nice and rounded. Okay, going to come down here. It should be symmetrical. This is my favourite shape because it's the shape of a rugby ball. So you want to try and get it nice and smooth and rounded, okay? No straight lines. Really round into the corner. Okay, that's what you end up with. If you feel that you need to go back over it to make it a bit heavier, go for it. But as I said, really emphasize on trying to, well, for the start of it, get your method right. And once we get into the topic, we can do this for a few weeks. We can work on the weighting, but as I said, the background weighting, everything up to the ellipses to be light. Okay. That's it. That's your topic for the next few weeks. The first thing we're going to do for this week is to be able to do what I've done here. So there's steps here. You've got a video. You get given the major axes and minor axes. In this case, major axis was 90 millimeter, minor, MA for both of them. I didn't really think about that one, did I? 50 millimeters. Major, minor, okay? So major axis 90, minor axis 50. Draw major and minor axes. Let's go through the steps before I finish up. Draw the major and minor circles, okay? So use this as a center point for the radius. Draw lines parallel to the major axes from where the diagonals cut the minor circles, so lines out like that, okay? Alright, and draw vertical lines to create these right angled triangles. And then we've got the points for our ellipse. Freehand sketch, take your time, okay? So you're going to do two of these. One is exactly the same as I've done there now. This is number 1. And the second one is just going to have different size, same method, okay? So I want you to practice. So by the end of this week, I want you to be able to do these two. I want you to send the photos up for me. We'll go major axes 105, so 10.5 centimeters. Minor axes we'll go 70. So you'll be a bit of a wider, so you'll get a different profile, it'll be a bit of a wider, so the rugby ball will be a bit wider, as I said. So that's what we'll get to when we look at through these different profiles to ellipses. Okay, so please take a photo of them, send them up by the submission date, which will be Friday. And message me if you get stuck, I'll help you, okay? Thank you.